So good evening, everybody. To
Hi, good
all,
evening.
to all viewers who are celebrating Mid Autumn Festival today, happy Mid Autumn Festival. This evening we are very, very honored to have with us three gentlemen who are experts in their respective field. But before I proceed to introduce the gentlemen, just want to talk very quickly a little bit about what is it that we're going to talk about today and why is it that we're all gathered here this evening, right? This is the first of a series of webinar uh, fireside chat that is undertaken by HPROP Malaysia, right? To talk about issues that are very relevant, that are very current, and which are in a way related to the real estate sector. Hence, HPROP, right? That's what we are talking about. And today, we are actually going to look at something that's quite contentious, something to do with something, that's called MM2H. But before we proceed to that, just let me have the honor of introducing our speakers for today. First off, we have Datuk Sri Kobeng Kang.
Hi.
Datuk Sri has more than 3 decades of experience in the field of engineering, construction, infrastructure work, property development, and he comes with a very, very strong management background as well. And Datuk Sri is currently the Senior Executive Vice President of the Expenditure Group. But in 2 weeks' time, he will be moving up the ladder and he will be taking on the role of Deputy President and Chief Operating Officer of Expenditure. Effective October the 1st. But tonight, Datuk Sri is representing PIAPSI, of which he is actually the current chair for PIAPSI Malaysia. And for the benefit of those who may not be so familiar, PIAPSI is the acronym for the International Real Estate Federation, which is actually a business networking organization for all real estate professionals all over the world. So Datuk Sri knows what's happening out there and he has his finger on the pulse, so to say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Next on, we have Mr. Anthony Liu. Anthony is somebody who is actually very, very key to the MM2H program. He has actually more than a decade of experience assisting individuals in applying for MM2H visa. I think, maybe we should talk a little bit about what is MM2H. Is Malaysia My Second Home, right? MM2H is the abbreviation for that, right? Anthony, particularly, I think it's very safe to say that you know the ins and outs of MM2H like the back of your palm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you've been in the game long enough, right? Last but not least, this is one gentleman that all the wonton mee lovers in Malaysia must know. This is Gary Cristizo. He is the franchise owner for this Makcik's restaurant group in Malaysia. But today, we are not here to ask Gary about his wonton noodle. Yeah. Gary is going to talk to us a little bit more about, Hong Kong, because Gary actually right now is a participant of the Malaysia My Second Home program in Malaysia, and you've actually kind of like settled down in Malaysia. You've been here for a long time, right? And not only that, he also works to promote Malaysia to the Hong Kongers because you have your own YouTube channel, right? Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, it's called what? Malaysia Jaw.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Malaysia Jaw, very apt, right? In Cantonese, Malaysia Jaw, yeah. Already Malaysia, right?
Yes. We don't forget that way, but it's just getting the word,
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay. With the introduction out of the way, let's talk a little bit about MM2H. Why this is a very interesting subject to talk about is because of late, it has been quite contentious with very wide-ranging of views as to whether or not MM2H, is something that Malaysia should proceed by virtue of the fact that, we are imposing a lot of restrictions on it, Is it something that we need? Is it something that we want? What are the issues? And more importantly, with Malaysia opening up its economy, what is necessary and what is it that we can do? Maybe for a start, shall we just start with Dr. Sri Ko, because you actually interact a lot with Westerners, and these are people from all over the world, because not only are you chairing, you're the president of PFC Malaysia, but because in the course of what you do, representing SB Setia, you also actually reach out and you engage a lot with foreigners, right? Maybe just share with us. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, indeed, for past 1 month, I has been a target of complaint by the MM2H holder, be it the British, be it the Japanese, and from China, they have been complaining non-stop to me. And I always told them that as the FEPC, we are trying our best to engage with the government. We never give up. In fact, before this MM2H being announced, you can ask Anthony, we've been approaching the various authority, immigration. We want to preempt. Hopefully, they don't come out something that is not practical. But a lot of time, we just have dialogue, but it's not successfully to dig into the detail what they intend to do. And I think the current concern by the MM2H holder, there are 57,000 of them. I think they're worried about the fairness. They came here with an eye opening to say that these is the terms, and they have confidence in the country. And today, the consistency has been broken, and a lot of them are looking at the new ruling. They say, hey, I'm not qualified, What I'm going to do, I am already sold my house. I treat this country as my own home, and now how am I going to reverse? I'm about 57, 58. It's very difficult to go back. I think first of all, I think the Sultan also involved. They already Southern Johor also talking to, and the Menteri Besar also talking to the minister. They want to bring prime minister. I think there will be a long discussion. I think first thing, I wrote a letter to the minister. We have to come down. We have to have empathy for the existing MM2H holders. Tell them these rules must have exemption for them. And this thing we will continue to work very hard to tell them this is only fairness. This only instill the confidence and also affect the image of our country. That is one thing I think I am particularly concerned, and we will work very hard. And the second thing is, I just one or two things only. The dialogue, the government, we try our best to open the channel to talk to them, but somehow they never want to engage into the discussion. And they have to engage with the dialogue with the industrial player and the operators, so that you must remember all this benefit, everybody recognize this is a benefit. And yet, we don't sit down to talk together as an entire ecosystem. Authority is part of the ecosystem. Property player also an ecosystem, part of the ecosystem, and even the agent. And this should be a national interest to sit down to talk together. If you ask me, currently have 57,000, is it very impressive? I don't think so. I think we should do better than that, Yeah. And if the authority have a concern, they always talk about security. Let's address the security issue. Look at the 57,000 fella. Is there any bad element? Find way to remove them. And not to have a few concern and then suddenly apply the rules to the rest. And I think we have to, my empathy for those people who have enjoying the life. I just talked to a Japanese only, been playing golf 3 times a week, and say that now very sad. Few years time they had to go back because they couldn't find the 40,000. They say, if I can find 40,000, I'll go somewhere else. It's just Malaysia, the ecosystem is suitable for that sort of income. Even they try 40,000, there's another category. Yeah. Okay, I won't go further, and I want to leave everybody have an opinion too. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sri Ko. You have actually summed up the entire discussion.
I'm so passionate about it, and I am, I want to scream,
You made life so easy for me, Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Just for the benefit of our viewers who may not be so clued in, into the details of what the discussion is all about. Maybe Anthony, you can help us first. Assume that some of our viewers don't know a lot about MM2H. So maybe you talk about what were the guidelines before, and what are the new guidelines, and when are the new guidelines going to kick in, right? And the fact that in between, I think, there were more than a year of silence on the part of the government, because that also plays a very important role in the message that Malaysia is sending out, to the other countries as to whether or not we really, want MM2H. Yeah, maybe you could help us there, Anthony.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Humi. Yeah, just now, Dr. Sri had mentioned something that is very, very exactly, precisely. Yeah. So I can explain a bit what is the MM2H program. Then MM2H program is our government Malaysia. He's promoted to allow foreigner who fill the criteria and then to stay in Malaysia as long as possible, and multiple entry social visa pass. Means that after you get 10 years, because now existing one, before 2020 is a 10 years visa, and then it's renewable. And then we have mentioned that this is not a PR status. So you only can have a social visa pass, you renew after 10 years and 10 years. So I think make it clear that it's not a PR. So some of the people will scared that it's PR cannot. So we have to mention on it. All right. So previously, the existing, previous terms is quite friendly, and most of, not so most, can say that middle upper, they can reach the targets. Like Japanese, the Westerners, they can come for retirement. We can say that the proof of income, proof of offshore income is just need 10,000 previously, no matter it's 50 years old, above or below 50 years old.
Sorry, 10,000 ringgit.
Yeah, 10,000 ringgit Malaysia, right? And then another part is to prove the liquid asset. To prove the liquid asset below 50 years old, you have to prove 500,000 ringgit Malaysia, and for 50 years old and above is 350,000 ringgit Malaysia.
Sorry, can I just stop you here again for the benefit of some of our viewers? When you say liquid asset, you mean like money in the bank here?
Yes.
Okay.
Mostly we prove is money in the bank, cash money. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And then after they obtain the approval, only come to Malaysia and put the fixed deposit in the local bank. Of course, they can go to HSBC, or this bank also can worry. And the 500 below 50 years old have to place the fixed deposit is 300,000, and above 150 years old is 150,000. All right. So and no minimum stay in Malaysia, because this is second home. So they have their first home, so they can come here easily, freely lah. All right. So where else this reactivated MM2H is much different, really. Just now I mentioned that income, offshore income, from 10,000 it increased to 40,000 ringgit Malaysia. Yeah, as just now Dato Sri mentioned, this kind of standard have different category. Yeah, so this one also is 4 times different. Yeah, 4 times different. And I think for retiree, not so easy to reach this 40,000.
Okay, Anthony, this is here for a bit of clarification. So basically what we're saying is, every applicant, successful applicant, they must actually have an income of 40,000 ringgit a month.
For existing one, we don't have a guideline yet. If let's say the new terms apply, whether they impose on this to the new existing customer, so we don't know. Okay. But if for deposit side, normally yes, they have to fulfill. Okay. So that's why I think a lot of people very insecure when they come across this FD.
Yeah. So and you know, this new guideline is supposed to kick in from 1st of October, right? Which is just round the corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we don't get any details yet, even though we
Okay.
get we try to get information from immigration because they are the executor, but they don't have announced anything yet. So
Okay. And which means, you know, again, just to further clarify, there's actually no black and white as to whether or not the new rules actually apply to those people who have already gotten the pass. Right?
yeah, but actually, for the press statement from KDN that day, is quite general. So on details we don't have.
Okay.
But since you have details, but we very scared whether it's applied to the existing is this kind of all these new terms is applied to the existing customer.
Sure.
Until now we don't get any confirmation.
Okay.
Yeah, where else the deposit, if let's say you obtain the approval, you come to Malaysia, you have to place the fixed deposit is much different from 300,000 for below 50 years old up to 1 million ringgit Malaysia. So it's more than 3 times. And then another one is 50 years old and above. That one is drastic change from 150,000 to 1 million. So more than 6 times change.
Okay.
Yeah, this one, I think this, if let's say this implement to the existing, I think that many people will drop.
Okay, so what we are saying, what we are saying right now, Anthony, is that, you know, okay, the old rules versus the new rules, and the new rules are supposed to be effective October 1st, but up to now there are still no details as to the clarity of all these new rules, right? Yeah. And you know, efforts are being made, right? Like what Dr. Sri said, to engage with the government to try and get some clarity, right, Dr. Sri?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
we don't want another surprise again. Seriously.
Yeah. In the meantime, Gary, you know, you have been in Malaysia and you have been a participant for how long now?
My MM2H pass is only about 2 years, but I've been in Malaysia for close to 7 years.
Okay. When you say 2 years, it's because you have renewed it, or
No,
you know, it's just 2 years ago.
No, just at first I came here for business, so I was on another pass. So, but 2 years ago, my family moved over, so I changed to M2H.
Right.
It was an attractive program.
Okay. Yeah. So when you you know, heard about the new guidelines, Gary, what was your immediate reaction?
My immediate reaction, I was quite calm indeed, because I think I've spent enough time here in Malaysia, so I'm kind of getting, you know, used to something, you know, the style of the government and how things change here. And then to us who spend a lot of time in Malaysia, we're most of us are quite calm, you know, and quite, it's not no surprise, you know. And then, you know, we always think, oh, you know, there's always a way to get around with in the future. Okay. But to those not moving here yet, or those who wants to apply, their reactions were 99% negative, and they were upset. They because, you know, most of the people that I faced were Hong Kongers in terms of foreign, and you know, in Hong Kong it's usually it's kind of known for, you know, the system, everything, you know, there's a system to follow. There's some guidelines to guide through. So people are used to having systematic things, but you know, so they were having some kind of expectation that, oh, you know, the government can do that. You know, they couldn't imagine that the life of Malaysia, you know, sometimes. So their reaction were quite negative. A lot. We see some anger as well. I think the most important thing, or the biggest downside of this announcement this time was the confidence, as Dr. Sri mentioned. It was mainly the confidence, even though the terms, let's say they would change the terms, okay, or improve the terms. I think Malaysia already lost a lot of potential applicants, and these people are mostly, I wouldn't say all, mostly they're quite well off, and then they are fairly educated, and then they are here just to spend the rest of their life, and they're just looking for a stability and peace of mind and security. So they know they don't get the passport. They know they don't get a permanent residency. They know they have no voting rights. They just want stability and security. Yeah, because these people are not young. Yeah.
Gary, I think that's interesting for us to know. And one thing that Anthony and also Dr. Sri mentioned, right? It's about some misconceptions somehow that MM2H is actually a gateway to getting a PR if it is not a PR. Hence, maybe there's a lot of apprehension. Maybe just share with our viewers, what are the benefits of MM2H applicants? I mean, that seems so intimidating to some Malaysians, perhaps. From your feedback, what's the feeling on the ground? What are the benefits that they have that, are frowned upon by certain segments of Malaysia, for instance? Gentlemen, any one of you want to share?
Okay, perhaps we can say for MM2H program, it don't have much benefit, honestly, but it's 10 years for you to stay in Malaysia is a good benefit. It's one of the benefit. And another one is that, like, if let's say you have children who want to study in Malaysia, you no need to apply the student visa. And normally, if let's say you apply student visa, only one father, or normally it's mother, to accompany to with the guardian visa. So that's why you can't have a whole family to stay in Malaysia. So this is another one of the benefit. All right. Last time we have like this tax exemption card, we also don't have. All right. So the rest, I think, is like stability of Malaysia, and they have some of the retiree. Then is a affordable living cost for them. Then for them is a very good place for stay. Yeah, I think these things that make up Malaysia has a popularity quite popular in the retirement place. Yeah, I think before that you can see that many survey, Malaysia is top 3 or top 5 retirement country all the while, and Japanese is always ranking us Malaysia as the top 1 for the retirement place.
Yeah. But yet, going by the numbers, it looks like the Chinese nationals actually make up the bulk, or rather, they are the most number of them compared to even to the Japanese or the Koreans or other nationality. Yeah. So this Chinese national, I'm just a bit confused, Gary. Are we talking about Hong Kongers as well? Do we pack Hong Kongers as part of this group of Chinese nationals who make up, the majority of the MM2H applicants in Malaysia right now?
No,
not really, right?
Yeah, normally we will, from the statistic, normally they will separate out.
I see.
Chinese, the mainland Chinese, and Hong Kong, they have a Hong Kong statistic.
Right. Yeah. Actually, Anthony, you brought up a very interesting point. Because I also, I follow social media. What I found to be quite interesting was actually one comment to say that, saying that developers are the people who's pushing for it because they want to sell homes. But it is very clear from what you just shared with us, that MM2H participants, they actually spend on education, along with other things, hospitality and a lot of other things, right? Maybe Dr. Sri Ko can share with us. Do you sell a lot of houses to MM2H applicants.
Okay, if you look at the first half of 2021, there are 37,000 units of overhang. That's 18.48 billion of overhang. And 51.8% is below 500,000. 34.3 is only 500,000 to 1 million. Therefore, the overhang for those units qualified for the MM2H holder to buy is very little. You're talking about the high-end products. And to me, it helps, definitely, especially in Penang, in a certain part of KL. And they are in a sector of a very reasonable high-end. For example, I have a property in Penang. Malaysians 4 million above, because our ringgit is so weak, I have a resistance on the local to buy. But if it's above 1 million, 4 million, 5 million, it's actually quite a number come from Indonesia, come from Hong Kong and China, and some from US. And I think it helps in that extent. But I have no shame to say that, why not? If people want to come and buy from Malaysia, helping the developer, why not? You look at Australia, most of the property bought by the Chinese from China, from Malaysia, from Singapore. Why not? It helped the economy. Why not in London? It's all the foreigners buy the property. Malaysia should take pride if we can sell to the foreigner in a high end and benefit the developer, whereby it will benefit the 145 downstream economy and also the service industry. And I think we should take advantage of this instead of view it as, oh, developer is benefit from it. So be it. We should work harder. One statistic I want to share with everybody. We are in the most envy position in the world. International Living, the magazine, ranked Malaysia is the 7th most popular retirement in the world. Penang is the 3rd best island in the world for retirement and the 1st in Asia. We are losing, we have all the advantage, but we didn't take advantage of it. And I think we should, even the property developer, and I think we should develop this sort of property for the foreign retiree come and enjoy. And I was in the Penang. I spent quite a lot of time in Penang beyond my project there. Very often, I sit in the coffee shops and I saw some Hong Kong retirees sitting with me. And I think it's so pleasant. We strike off a conversation and they tell you, the only thing I hate the most is they say that they enjoy here so much. And I look at myself, how come I never take advantage to enjoy Malaysia? They say, I go there, I go here, I really enjoy my life. I play golf 3 times a week. My Japanese friends are telling me. And we should take advantage of this. No shame that we should develop property and to attract people to come here to enjoy life for the retirement life.
Yeah, that is really very interesting. You said that you mentioned about the upstream and downstream industries that actually weigh in, where the property development sector is concerned. That is only property development. But away from that, let's talk about education. Let's talk about medical. Let's talk about local tourism, hospitality, right? That comes to quite a bit. But Gary, maybe this is a question for you. I mean, you would know, right? Your friends, your associates who come in under the MM2H program, do they just stay in and don't do anything? I mean, they don't spend any money?
No, they actually spend quite a lot of money. Besides, because for these people coming in, usually they are either reach the retirement age or soon to reach. So, but for the past 2 years, that we've seen a trend that younger families are starting to consider. Okay, but usually these people are close to their retirement age, so they're already used to their lifestyle in Hong Kong. So they will go out, they will spend a few hundred, 1,000 Hong Kong dollars for a meal. Because in Hong Kong, once you step out of your home, you instantly you are like hundreds gone. you know, so that they're used to spending that kind of money. And then even if they consider to move to Malaysia, they want to maintain that kind of lifestyle. Okay, but of course at a lower cost. But still, that is not, you know, it still spend a lot of money if you compare to the general citizen in Malaysia. And then their age is getting older, so they will need a lot of medical advice and treatments. And then those with kids, they are usually in high school or universities. Okay, and then even if their kids don't come along, they fly a lot. The parents do fly a lot, and then the kids will come back and forth. You know, they study in the UK or Australia. You know, so a lot of these spending on the sides that they are associated with these foreigner or MM2H holders.
So, you know, the number that has been, quoted, 50 billion, you know, since the MM2H was initiated back in the year 2002, would that kind of like cover all these expenses that you've mentioned?
What do you mean, the 50 million?
50 billion. 50 billion. Yeah. You know, because there was a number that was being quoted, right, to say that since the program was initiated back in the year 2002, you know, up to now, you know, we would have netted, expenditure of about 50 billion. Maybe Anthony can shed some light there.
You mean 50 billions quoted from where?
Yeah, that's the amount that has been spent. Okay,
associated with the MM2H program, right?
All right. Yes. Yeah. The amount that we have netted from that program. I'm just wondering where the number came from, whether it's inclusive of of all this, daily expenses. It's kind of difficult, isn't it? I mean, who would know, right?
Yeah. Actually, as I know, KDN's statements have mentioned that it's only 11.89 billions from 2009 to 2002 until 2019. But for as we know, the MM2H Center's figures is different. It's MM2H Center's figure is from 2007 until 2019, but the figure is 21.1 billion. So actually it's different. And then after that, before that, we also checked with MM2H Center before that. So we know that the figure is not only 21.1 billions. It's much different because that time haven't add on the daily expenditure, and then also don't add in the tourism figures revenue, and then also don't add in the this education figures. All right. So after our association had did the calculation, very conservative calculation without this education and tourism figure, so it's around 38.165 billions revenue. Then if let's say add on in this education and the tourism figures, then it's much than that. And also our figures from this property purchase, one-off purchase, is also considered one unit. I think some of the MM2H participants, they bought more than one unit. I think that one also not in calculate in the figures. So I think from this MM2H, it brings very much revenue to Malaysia, not only for 11.89, definitely, I believe.
Yeah, because I remember reading somewhere that it's 40 over billion, close to 50 billion.
Okay, if I can just contribute one. You know, recently I did some research. There's one company, Cosmoplan, who actually focused to get the Japanese retiree to come here for Malaysia, Malaysia My Second Home for retirement. In their record, it showed as of April 2020. And basically, he said that he is focused on this Malaysia My Second Home. He sold more than 450 property worth 500 million, basically in Klang Valley, Johor, and Penang, and transacted 600 rental cases. Just by one agent itself, he closed more than 500 million for so many years. So you talk about it, 18 billion, I think it's underquoted. It should be more than that. Even, for example, the education, the effect is very, very significant. For example, I'm in a Cyberjaya. The Chinese family came in, they came in not one person, grandfather, grandmother, parents all came in just for one kid to go to the international school. And first thing is they don't want to rent, they want to buy. So for them, for the visa easier to in and out the country, they apply for Malaysia My Second Home. And I think the benefit is more than that. You can, Anthony, the effect on the agents, without this foreign influx of the Malaysia My Second Home campaign, you see how much they affect your agent. These are the life money, the livelihood, and actually gone. How many agents you have?
We have 280s in our member, but the rest haven't in our members. Still have a lot, about 100 plus.
So 300 multiplied by
most
4.
of the agents,
thousands of people. You just one household. One household, let's say you have about 4,000 or 5,000 a month of income. Depends on this. You just calculate. It's a tremendous impact. I think that government must really realize it is a very good program. It is a very good program. Thank you.
Just to add on to that, while on the one hand, Malaysia is working so hard to try and, stir and bring up our local tourism, right? I mean, wouldn't the MM2H participants be our ambassador naturally? Isn't it? Like Gary, when the MM2H, participants here, surely they will attract some friends, relatives to come over, right?
Oh,
by word of mouth.
Yes, a lot. I think in the past, Malaysia was still not a very popular destination for a lot of other Asian countries. Because, there's always other countries or cities in priority: Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Thailand, Singapore. So Malaysia didn't rank that high. But in the past 2-3 years, everything has changed, and then people are starting to realize that the benefits or the good things about Malaysia, and also in terms of tourism, medical tourism, ecotourism. So everything has changed. So as Datuk Sri pointed out, I think all the figures that were announced by these reports or governments, they were way underestimated. It's only the documented figures that they can trace for all these MM2H holders and their spending. Okay, it's for education alone. One kid, let's say one child in international school costs 60,000 a year. 5 years will already cost 300,000, which is already equivalent to the fixed deposit that the participant put in. This is only, we're talking about one child per family only. So I think yes, I think the government has to see this the importance and the associated for all these stakeholders that can be affected.
I think so far, Fong Yi, you don't mind I say that. So far, I can see the newspaper, I can see social media talk a lot. I think the government, the relevant department, need to have a dialogue, need to tell us what is the fear factor, what are they worried. Then we can sit down to work together, come up solutions, then we move forward. Because the reputation really affected, confidence really affected. We need a quick answer, quick action to address the issue. While we put the 57,000 of the existing holder, let them come first, say that, okay, this will be exemption. And I think for the benefit of the country, we need to really have a dialogue. we want to understand them also. Why?
Yeah.
Is there any reason why? Then, because they don't talk, we also don't know what to address the issue.
Yeah. Dr. Sri, can I just ask, as stakeholders yourself, right? Have there been any attempts to engage with the government or vice versa insofar as this is concerned? Because this issue of reviewing the guidelines for MM2H has been in hiatus for more than a year, because I think, many months ago, they just pulled the plug. Nobody else, what's happening. And then now that it's back, in the system, but with a lot of changes, right, in the guidelines. So in between and also as up to where we are now, have there been any efforts on your part to engage with them?
Yeah, like Anthony and I, we visited the immigrations. We have a dialogue with them. And unfortunately, these are even immigration, there are uncertainty. They won't really address too many of our questions, except that we actually mentioned to them a lot of MM2H holder. They went during the COVID, they went overseas and then they couldn't come back. And I think Anthony held them quite a bit of this. Of course, I engaged with tourism. Most of them, they also don't really give us the very firm answer. What is the reason why you have to tighten up? And I know one thing, they always have two things in their mind. Oh, among the MM2H holder, there are some security issues. But one officer say, but there's only 57, you can pinpoint them and plug them out. Then we have foreign workers, about a few million. Then we probably have bigger problem. So we should address that as well. But then they didn't really come to address the issue.
That's interesting, that's right, because that the one statement, the one sentence that keeps coming up is that the government, the minister concerned, has stressed that Malaysia wants quality applicants, high quality. I'm just wondering, what would be the definition of high quality? Would you gentlemen know what actually is high quality? What kind of high quality applicants, that they're looking at? Anthony?
Yeah,
what is high quality?
Yeah,
Why have you been bringing
when it comes
low
to
quality
quality,
ones?
yeah, I don't know what it means that quality. Is it the rich person only consider quality? I'm afraid I not agree, because I think lots of quality person is not a very rich people, but they are quality because they are educated, right? But they are capable, and then they have some money, but not that high, not the rich yet. So when say that quality person, and then in the security issue, then I for me, security, yes, we of course we cannot compromise, but I think that normally we have asked our applicant to get the letter of conduct, and then if let's say have any issue, well, previously is only for main applicant, they need to submit the letter of conduct. But of course, if let's say government needs everyone who is an adult 18 years old and above, I believe everyone is a group, so we have to submit. It's no issue. Yeah, then you can have a background check, all these things. If let's say you say that that some country is sensitive country or what, you have to fully check, it's no issue. If some of that, you can random check. So I think this one for enforcement or for security enforcement, they can work on that. And then you said that high net worth or high quality, I think, or genuine, I think cannot equals to rich people. For me, for my understanding, yeah. So that's why we always say that high net worth not only can rich person only, but also have a rich person got criminal case. But so that I say that it cannot be the equal. Yeah.
I heard that sentence that they want. They think 10,000 is so easy to get into Malaysia. Are you only 150,000 deposit so easy to come to Malaysia My Second Home program? They was concerned, is it so easy? But I look at the 57,000, it's not that some figure that I feel very, very excited, you know. We should have 200,000 or Malaysia My Second Home people, only 57. And they want to attract high quality 40,000. If you can earn about £100,000 a year in London, probably you're working hard to earn a living, and you won't be coming here to enjoy. And I think we also have to need to understand our customer. No doubt we are a third world country. Our advantage is our weather, our living expenses cheap, and we need to attract the appropriate level of people to come to this country. We cannot say that, oh, because we are third world now, we are 57,000 already come here. I suddenly want to raise the bar. I want a CEO of some listed company in the US to come here or Hong Kong. They may not. Our is the middle class, good citizen, middle class retirement, or middle class who want to send the children overseas. So we are in the third world category. We have to design our program according to our level best, not over design. Then later we have problem. Let me tell you a joke. Malaysia who earn 40, 50,000, a lot of them migrating out to Australia instead of staying in Malaysia. There's irony of it, okay?
Yeah. Maybe Gary, you can share with us, the perspective, from the ground, the people you mix with, the people you reach out to. What are they saying? I mean, the fact that Malaysia now wants high quality applicants.
Well, in Hong Kong, there are only a few percent of people who can make 40,000 ringgit a month. All right, and then most of the people would be the same reaction as Dato Sri pointed out. If I'm making 40,000 a month, I will not be choosing Malaysia. Not really looking down on Malaysia, but they have better options. Yeah. And I think the government should have all the statistics that they needed, because they hired a consultant. I think it's KPMG, right?
Yep.
They hired KPMG, and which is it's the big four, to do a research and study on the previous program. So I think they have valid figures, but how these valid figures come to today's decision is the question. And sure, they already compared with other similar programs of from Thailand, from the Philippines, from Taiwan. So they should have known their position. But what they really want, I think they were looking at. They were too aggressive. Yeah, and then there wasn't enough industry consultancy, or they should have like focus group, talk to different stakeholders, and before this announcement was made, right? But it didn't seem so easy to sit down with the government and really to discuss about this.
Yeah. In fact, we actually have one question from the viewers. Do we, Malaysia, as a product, have what it takes to attract that category of high quality participants? And what do we have as our competitive edge to attract, this group of people? That was
I think you want to attract this group of people. They are businessmen, they are professional. You want to attract, you have to think about same as Cyprus, all this, the tax incentive, the business environment that people are concerning. You can craft a very let's say Malaysia My Second Home retiree, one category. And then you can give a high value or separate program targeting those high value people, like they are the manufacturer. They now internet, they can operate from Malaysia. I got one or two Singaporean buyer. They think operate in Malaysia is cheaper, but if you give them a special incentive, or maybe you tell them that you come in with certain higher category, after a few years can they PR and give you a certainty. And I think it's the government is to create the environment for them, because this group of people is a high net worth. They are active in business. They are not retiree in the morning playing golf. They go bird watching. They enjoy food. These are the people high net worth. They are in the business. You have to give them a business package for them to come here. That is my point of view. You know, otherwise, why should I come here? I mean, they might as well go to London. More exciting. The business environment is more dynamic than here. And education, they will go to Australia. Melbourne is made up by all the world students over there. So if we want to attract students, we have to work on our educations. You want the high net worth who are 50,000 ringgit of the people, you have to work on the business package. Then the retirement package, you have to work on retirement package. For example, you want the business people to come here, you probably have to reinstall back that you have a free duty-free car. You may bring your Rolls Royce in Malaysia duty-free. You know, things like that, you know, to attract different package tailored for different category.
Right.
So
we need to deep dive, right, into the objectives of the respective packages that we curate, right? Because it's not a one size fits all, right? That's what we're saying, right? Yeah. Anthony, any feedback from your fellow agents and consultants?
Yeah, of course. When come up how we can say that ridiculous terms. So most of the agents said that we don't have confidence at all, or very low confidence to promote this package. Yeah, as just now Dato Sri mentioned, if let's say you want to apply this high terms, then you should come up a different package for maybe like investor or investment with a resident or something. So if let's say for certain retirement group, then you have some package, which means that if like compared to Thailand, they have different package and they suit to different people. So we should have this kind of targets, but perhaps we come up one package, but so high, so I don't think that it suit to any certain person. If let's say it's very high these terms, I think really less estimation people will come to Malaysia, as we have a member discussion last 3 weeks. Most of them, they said, I have 5% confidence to promote this package. So means that maybe about still have some, but maybe about 300, 400, 500 is much lower than what we expected. Yeah.
Right.
But Anthony, sorry, I want to ask Anthony. Before the program being frozen in year 2020, I remember there are about 10,000 applicants, you know, and their application has been returned back to the agent, and these are the ones are in limbo, you know. Some money already spent. I feel that if you don't address the 57,000 plus the 10,000 already put in money for the applications, and some even pay for the deposit of the property, you won't get a good ambassadors. They will in social media whack you left, right, and center, and your program will be become a Waterloo.
Yeah. This is why we call our policy becomes a flip-flop policy, because before that is this amount and this category, and then they apply, they submit the application with the terms that they fulfill. But now the 5,396 is be written the files. All right, so all submitted with reference number. We submit into the MM2H center and been request to get all the file backs in July as well. So that is very bad experience to all foreigners, to all applicants, and they all hopes that when new terms come out, with a certain adjustment, then they still would like to apply. But if let's say come to these new terms, I think most of them, as Gary mentioned, 99.99% is no more confidence to Malaysia because no one, not say that they don't fulfill. Some of that they fulfill, but they don't have confidence. This confidence is very important. The image has been broke down, and then it's very hard to gain the confidence to foreigner.
Yeah. This
Honestly.
question is for Gary. Okay, looking at how things are, looking at the confidence deficit situation that we're facing right now, and then also, the restrictive guidelines in terms of the quantum of the money and so on and so forth, right? What are your friends in Hong Kong saying? I mean, are they looking away from Malaysia? Which are the countries that will probably benefit from all of this?
Yeah, I think are considering multiple destinations. Okay, so there some people they see it this way. They see, okay, they may, if they really want to move to another country for good, they may consider UK. They may consider Canada or other places, because those places will give them a PR or a passport at the end of the day. Okay, so but some of them, they are also applying for MM2H at the same time, because they see this as a long-term social visit pass, that they can come, spend a few years here, spend a few years there, and then they enjoy the life here. But especially because of the Chinese crowd in Malaysia. Okay, I think that's one of the point, because they feel so comfortable, and a lot of these people, I would say many don't have the 40,000. Many don't meet the 40,000 income threshold, but they do have money. In Hong Kong, if you sell your 500 square feet apartment, you instantly you get at least 10 million Hong Kong dollars cash on hand. So these people do have the money, they do have the assets, but too bad these assets usually are not counted in the program as their assets, because they want liquid assets, they want cash. And then I think the government or the program should focus more on how to make these people spend more money and invest. So a few months ago, the government did mention that they will have two types. I think one is by investment. It was MM2H by investment. I think the other one is by retirement or something. So now, when the new rules came out, it seems that they are just asking you for a high income, a lot of money in the bank, but there's not much related to making sure that they will spend money. Okay, so they're asking for 1 million cash to put in the bank as a fixed deposit. Okay, to the applicant, you're locked down 1 million cash. Okay, that is very important. Okay, and the second thing is, the government or Malaysia still have to pay them, say, for example, 3% on interest. They still have to pay them 30,000 every year. Okay, so, and then if they have a high income, they have a lot of money in the bank, doesn't mean they will spend. Okay, I think the government may consider, encouraging them. Okay, you come, you must open a company, you must start a business, just like Taiwan. Okay, or you must buy a house, or you must engage in some kind of investment, or government bond, things like that. I think that would really benefit the country.
Right. I hear you, Gary. So basically, again, it's back to the fundamental. What are the objectives of MM2H insofar as the government of Malaysia is concerned? What is it that we want to get out of it, right? I think that's very, very key, right? Because if we are not really sure, we just want high quality workers, like what Datuk Sri pointed out. What about those immigrant workers? And we do have one comment from a viewer as well. are we saying that, those MM2H participants who have come in earlier, they are of lower quality than those construction workers? Yeah, so that's very interesting. Yeah. So would I be wrong that, if what I've gathered from you three gentlemen is definitely the guidelines, the new guidelines are very restrictive. They are counterproductive to the, reopening up of Malaysian economy, which we so needed right now. We need things to move, right? Yeah. And then also we have a confidence issue because while it's not in black and white, there is a possibility that, the new guidelines may actually supersede the old ones. We are rolling back whatever that we have actually laid out, in our red carpet before to the participants who have come in earlier. And worse than that, those people who are already here, who have made Malaysia their second home in the true sense of the word, they may have to leave, right? If we go by the new rules, they may have to leave. It doesn't matter when, right? It could be 2 years, 1 year, or 4 years or 5 years down the road. But definitely the horizon remains that they will have to leave unless something else changes, right? So would you say that we are actually, insofar as MM2H is concerned, we are really at the crossroad? Because it's not a case of really, just raising the bar in terms of, in our demand for the kind of liquidity that these people can bring to Malaysia. But there are so many other issues, right? Are we at the crossroad? Do we need to decide once and for all where we want to head? Maybe Gary, you could share with us, as a participant. Do you see it that way? Is enough enough?
I think it's never too late. But I think time is running out. Because people have been waiting for more than a year already. And then after this long wait, and then this came out, that's why the confidence is gone. But yes, it's never too late. I mean, now I think the government should, really talk to the stakeholders, talk to different industries, different people, and then try to do amendments. And as I said, maybe focus on guarantees on how to stimulate these wealthy people or these quality people to come in and spend money.
Right. Yeah. Maybe Anthony?
Yeah. As Gary mentioned, all the people, all the participants, long waiting, about more than 1 year, and our members also have a very cold period for over the one year. So actually, for assisting, I really hope that government will look for, heard from their voice. I think many has voiced out. Many, as Dato Sri also get a lot of email. I think KDN itself also get a lot of email. So I think they should look on that. But honestly, as just someone mentioned, they don't have details on what they should, what they impose to the existing customer. They just mentioned that they'll impose to existing customer. So it makes all the people don't have confidence to Malaysia policy. So I hope that government also will come out very fast and make some changes on the terms for imposed to the existing customer. So I believe only to act fast and only can sustain the existing customer, or else we have some survey from among our associations, and also we have the expert group, also the Japan Club of the KL. 90%, more than 90%, it won't renew the MM2H if the new terms apply to them. So the next country to be benefited is Thailand, because they have a very good terms and very friendly terms. And as gentleman mentioned, they have limousine to take the customer to the hospital or some others service. So I hope that government really look into it, and they hope that government can engage with us stakeholders, as I mentioned, not only MM2H, perhaps education, medications, property, and others, hospitality also as well, because in different angle only can make the package or the terms better.
Right. Dr. Sri, you have thoughts?
I only want to appeal to government. Please consider the fairness to the existing MM2H holder. And they has been loyal to us. They has been a very good ambassadors to Malaysia. You turn them become a very bitter people, and they even threaten to bomb our currency. I mean, it's unthinkable that we turn a friend's ambassadors to become our adversary. That, I think, like Gary is saying, that time is running out. We don't have much time. Thailand is laughing all the way to the bank, and I think the government not only thinking in security in mind, I think they must look at it's a business for the country, and they must look at customer relations. That change the perspective. You know, you are just governed. I just want to govern, but you have to turn into, hey, we are running a business for economic recovery. That itself have to come from a very high level to change our mindset. Otherwise, you're going to keep on changing the rules. Everybody having confidence, and this time around, once they fix a rule, you better tell them this rule will not change, will not apply, or future changes will not apply to you. Give people that confidence that we don't flip-flop and then affect their livelihood and also their status. I'm still trying hard to make appointment to be able to open a dialogue. Anthony and I, we always communicate. We try our best to open the dialogue. After I saw the news, Johor Sultan also don't get his way. I was getting a bit worried also. Now he wants to see Prime Minister.
Correct.
Gary,
Okay.
as a participant of this program, tell us your thoughts. Are you going to ditch us as well?
Okay.
Well, for me, I got Plan B. So if Malaysia, really don't want us, I always have another place to go. But I don't know. I do have a Canadian passport as well as a Hong Kong passport. So I got options. So, but I still prefer Malaysia. It's really a very nice place to retire and to even to do business or to live, and for my kids. Yeah, I think it's a great place. So that's why it's attractive. In the past, it was just a gem that was hidden, and not many people knew about it. Yeah. So it was good that these few years Malaysia suddenly became a very hot topic and hot destination, and the government should really don't lose this edge.
Right. Yeah, Anthony,
as Anthony pointed out, if the new rules will apply to me, yes, I will leave the MM2H visa behind, but I may not ditch Malaysia, but I may use other ways to stay, because
right.
I'm running business here, so it's not okay, bye, I'm leaving tomorrow. Not that kind of thing.
Oh, that's good to know. You will still have your wonton mee. Okay, that's good.
I like Gary. We love to have this MM2H holder. They have this emotional attachment with us, and you will be a good ambassador to repair whatever damages is done.
Yes, I always.
Any MM2H holder come to my place for free wonton mee.
you gotta watch my channel. You know, I'm very positive about Malaysia.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that's good.
You should to Malaysia.
Anthony, you know,
I think
maybe say
Yeah.
something. Yeah, maybe say something. You know, on behalf of your members. I'm sure they must have had a really rough ride, right? You know, there've been a lot of uncertainties, and suddenly, you know, there's this word from the government that, hey, you know, it's going to be, reinstated. Yeah, oh, suddenly, oh, there's a lot of new things. So, you know, would you like to say something on their behalf? How they feel?
Yeah. For our members, we have a member group. So whenever see something negative, then we all very upset, and then we say, "Ayo." So our rose price, the rice bowl been break, and so of course we hope that government really all our member really hope that government can look into it and proper, and get back the confidence of the participant, who potential participant or existing participant. And our rice bowl been frozen for more than 1 year. So I hope that when come out a terms which is how to say, we say that more attractive, and then competitive with regions program. So our members will always cooperate with government. So of course, as just now mentioned by Dato Sri, we always hope to have a dialogue, engagement from government. Then we give our ideas, and always we have members' ideas also. We can come up some solution from different points. So this is our members lah. Our members always very concerned what is the government did, and we very happy when we saw that Sultan Johor mentioned something. They would take up this issue to the PM, and also some MB from this Johor also mentioned that we want to bring to the PM, or others people say want to bring something to PM or our minister. So we really hope that gather some others source and helping this industry as MM2H consultant association is not a big consultant association, but it's a very important to hold the program. I mean, to run the program, because our member actually they spend a lot of money, especially in 2019. Some of the agents they have their own office in Hong Kong, and they spend a lot of money to invest there and then do the promotion, even though in Indonesia and China or others go to Eastern Middle East also have. So after we invest so much, but nothing come out. Nothing come out. So we hope that government really look into it, and then we hope that can help all our members. Yeah.
I just recall that even the Sabah government has come up to say that they do not fall into this category insofar as the MM2H guidelines are concerned. Yeah.
I think recently there's news or rumors saying that the Sabah government will be in talk with the West Malaysia government to align the program. So this is even worse news, you know. So I'm not sure if this is true or not. Anthony, you heard anything about that one?
I heard that some of the organization discussed with government. I mean, the Sabah government hope they are not in line with West Malaysia. But I know that Sarawak definitely assisting is not in line with the West Malaysia program, because they have all the while Sarawak they have their own policy, so it might not same. So we hope that we can't say that hope lah. So Sarawak have their advantage, and Sabah have their advantage, and West Malaysia Peninsula here have their own advantage as well.
Okay, this one is like, Anthony, this is for you. I hope I'm not putting you into a corner. If you have your wish, what are the guidelines that you're okay with, and what are the guidelines that you're not okay with?
Okay, like 90 days for stay with within 1 year. So I think because MM2H is one of the only as a social visa pass, it's not a permanent resident or something. So suppose it's not imposed, but of course, what minister mentioned, they hope that they come to Malaysia and spend. Of course, we also hope that they can come to Malaysia and spend. And of course, with certain period, we'll do. Like Sarawak, the impose is 15 days at this moment. So I think maybe 15 days or 14 days, I think is quite good for this social visa pass. Another one is the offshore income. As just now we mentioned many times, if let's say 40,000, that is another category, or perhaps you can have another package for 40,000 for retirement or something that you can lower down a bit, and then a lot of people can switch for it. Another one is a fixed deposit. So before that, we see is a 300,000 maximum for below 50 years old. So of course, we did discuss with our member, and also our members did discuss with some potential client. They for the enhancement, that we agree that to enhance something, but and then can increase certain value to maximum maybe 500,000. I think it's still acceptable. So I hope that government can look into it. And where else for this above 50 years old, maybe just about 300,000. I mean, double up from what existing is 150,000 to 300,000. I think this figure, I think, still acceptable, right, Gary? Still acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about like from 10 years to 5 years?
Okay, of course, 10 years to 5 years. Normally, 10 years is one of the marketing, how to say, we say that it's a feature, good feature, unique feature to our program. Because as I know that government of Thailand, they are going to impose also 10 years. So we hope that we are not going back. We're supposed to maintain 10 years. Unless they say that you just now mentioned that 5 years plus 5 years, because they want to know that whether it's 90 days. If let's say 14 days, they impose for 14 days, I think most of the people also no issue. Then if 5 plus 5 is not the biggest issue lah, as I mentioned. I think the third, the three terms that I mentioned is the most important. And another one is a liquid asset, to show liquid asset. I think we have mentioned, we have talked to many clients and our agents. Most of the people, rich people, they invest in anywhere, everywhere also. So sometimes they don't have much cash in their bank. Yeah, they have to invest in others, high yield returns. And then when they want to apply, then only can come back or collect all the money, then it will take time. So we hope that we can adjust a bit from 1.5 million to maybe less than 1 million.
What about the offshore income, from 10,000 to 40,000?
Oh, yeah. Actually, our member quite agree if, let's say, for retiree, maybe up to 15,000. Yeah, for another category, maybe we can go to 20,000. If, let's say, you have more than 3% or 4%, perhaps you can add some money on that.
Or maybe
so
family.
I think more flexibility. Yeah, big family is different. Then maybe you can more flexibility, and then it suit to different people.
Right.
And the key thing is, on renewal, do you still have to prove that income? Because you're already retired, right?
Yeah, for existing, actually, is no need to prove the income.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't know that the new criteria, all the details haven't come out. So I don't comment on this
Right.
income. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to renew. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gary, as a participant, would you agree with a review of the guidelines upwards, but perhaps not to the level that have been announced?
Yeah. Yes, I do agree.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree with what Anthony suggested.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Dr. Sri,
I do-
any last words? Yes.
I do agree that we need to move up a bit, but you have to look at what the market can afford as a business. And to me, if you are not ready to give detail, don't make announcement. You make announcement and then you don't give detail, then everybody getting worried, and then it become a lot of waste of energy. Discuss, and end up create so much of crisis of confidence. In the future, I will hope the government will have a dialogue with us. And before announcement, think about it. If you're not sure yet, you don't have detail, don't make announcement. Then we will have problems. And I think at the end, you have to look at a different category, like Thailand. Probably just like a developer, when you do a township, you must design some for needy, certain people afford that, some bungalow for certain category. It's the same analogy. And I went through a few promotions by the tourism. I think we must quickly settle down this issue. I think we shouldn't have an internal confusion like that. We should focus more on awareness. I went to see a few awareness campaign on the tourism campaign. We think we have a lot of room to improve. We quickly settle this and then we quickly go out to promote our campaign and then bring in the benefit to the country. And Gary is an ambassador for people like them. We must pinpoint who are the one are good to promote our campaign. Then they are our best ambassadors, That's why I have a comment. Quickly settle it down. No need to have an issue keep on drag until the Sultan get involved. Have the Prime Minister too busy for this.
Yeah.
Correct. Quickly settle down.
Yeah.
And I want to add on also, when they launched the program, they mentioned on the statement, but they never come up with the benefit. So all the criteria increase, but we don't know what is the benefit. Until up to today, we don't know. We don't have.
This is called Anthony. This is called government. This is not business.
Okay, then I understand.
Gentlemen, there is this one question that just come in. Very interesting. Because we talk about the income 40,000 ringgit a month, right? So this gentleman asked, can an applicant form an offshore company and pay himself and recycle the 40,000 every month? How do you beating the system?
Sorry, come again. I didn't hear you.
Okay, that means you actually form an offshore company and then you pay yourself the 40,000 every month. You recycle it now. You can beat that system, right?
This is because I have to look up on the details. I think we don't have details. I cannot comment on this. Only we have the details. We know that how to secure on this issue.
Right. Yes. We hear you.
If you make it so difficult and people have to go to that route, this means you defeat the purpose already. Seriously.
Yes.
Yeah. And some of the country, they have a restriction on the money count flow out, especially like I think some Bangladesh, Indonesia, China also. Like China only 50,000 USD per year. So how many years that you need to fulfill if 1 million? I think easily get you 3-4 years and only can fulfill. So this one also is a global issue. So you have to think of it also.
Yeah, again, it's back to the objective now. What is it that Malaysia wants? I think we really need to ask ourselves, what is it that we want?
I think we know what we want. Most of us. Yes, Anthony, I think you know what you want, isn't it? Gary, you know what you want, isn't it?
Yeah. We don't. Really.
Just that we don't have the platform to express our needs, our wants.
Right. Yeah. Is there anything else, gentlemen, you'd like to add? Because this has been very insightful for me, and I'm sure it's the same, for our viewers. Yeah. of course, this conversation that we just had will be transcribed and it will be reported in our e-weekly hproperty.com coming out this Friday. But over and above that, we will also be flashing the sound bites from tonight's discussion on the various social media platform as well. Just to recap, tonight's webinar is a series that we have launched in conjunction with HProp REPAX 2021. This is our virtual property fair. Of course, those days we would have this kind of discussion physically in a conference room or in a hotel or in a hall. But now, we are doing this because this is the new norm, right? Yeah. And it's quite good because immediately after this, you can go and have your mooncake. You don't have to drive home. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. Yeah. So, gentlemen, if there's nothing else you'd like to add, yes. Thank you once again for your time and your invaluable input. Really appreciate it. Yes. And all the best to all of us. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Good night.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.